So I saw this leak about a Phantasy Star character coming. Papa Gino's just made a video about it. I didn't watch his video yet because I already read the leak yesterday and was kind of like, I didn't think he'd even cover it, but I think he's just bored. Honestly, if I watched the video, he probably says himself, it's probably not real. Because even if you get stuff right, doesn't mean you're gonna get everything right. You know, one of the only guys we could really trust was Vergebin, and the thing is that a lot of stuff he talked about coming true didn't come true till way later. For example, he said there'd be a Square Enix character, and he said Steve was going to be in. Of course, he kind of lied at the end there and said it was going to be a boss from Minecraft or something. He's like, he thought there was going to be Minecraft content. Yeah, it came, but way later. But everything else, I mean, he was pretty spot on with a lot of the base game roster stuff, which makes me think that the DLC stuff is harder to leak. Really, there hasn't been a solid leak for Smash since Nintendo did it themselves. You know, at E3, it was kind of leaked, and we might get another E3 leak because that thing can happen sometimes because it's E3. But like but besides that, it was like Nintendo leaked Terry themselves, and then after that, we haven't had a solid, credible leak since. And again, it's because there's a third-party source. E3 was the one who basically got to spoil everything. So because there was a third-party source, I'm pretty sure it's why it got spoiled. I could believe that someone had insider information for the last Nintendo Direct, because that's why we're supposed to believe this, that Phantasy Star character is coming to Smash. It's because this leaker got stuff correct for the February Nintendo Direct. And, I mean, it is pretty crazy to predict things like Ninja Gaiden Sigma as well as Mario Golf, maybe one of them, but to predict, they got like 4 things right? And that's kind of crazy. But the thing is that just because they knew about that leak doesn't mean they know about everything. And also, I don't even know if it's verified the same guy or not. I don't care that much because I think this leak's just about bullshit anyway. It's so easy to not take it seriously at all the second they say Phantasy Star Online 2. It just won't happen. Like, literally, Reimu from Toho has a fucking higher chance than a Phantasy Star 2 character. And I say Phantasy Star 2. Phantasy Star 2 was on the Sega Genesis. It was an RPG. They're talking about Phantasy Star Online 2. They're thinking that Sega will promote their new game that way. I admit, Sega cares about, like, a few games. Like, 3 or 4 games, really. 4, if you count Project Diva with Hatsune Miku. So the 4 games they care about is Project Diva, Sonic the Hedgehog, Yakuza, and Phantasy Star Online. And then like Atlas has Persona, and then which Atlas kind of does its own thing for the most part. And then you have what's that other? You have Platinum Studios with Bayonetta. Sega doesn't own Platinum Studios. Sega just like co-owns Bayonetta alongside Nintendo, alongside Platinum Studios. So the thing is that like Sega really only cares about the few games they really focus on. Their other games aren't really a big deal. So I could see them wanting to push Phantasy Star Online 2, but that would not. I don't see why Sakurai would go, yeah, I'm going to put Phantasy Star. No, it seems what would be more likely would be like a Mii costume, if anything. I don't think that would be a fucking full-on character. Same reason why Monster Hunter had a lot going against it. And that's because you guys are asking for characters who are based off of, like, nothing. You guys are basically asking for, like, a completely moldable avatar character. And I'm trying to think, what character in Smash is a moldable avatar character outside of Villager? I think Villager's the only one. And, Villager, honestly, I feel like the only reason he got in is because of Nintendo. It's because he's like a Nintendo first-party character. But, I mean, there was a lot of Animal Crossing stuff put in Brawl, so it seemed like Nintendo kind of wanted to, or at least Sakurai kind of wanted to figure out a way to put in Animal Crossing stuff, but I don't think he knew how to do it. And I think he even said like an Animal Crossing character as a fighter wouldn't really be a good fit. But then for Smash 4, that was like the first character revealed, He also, I think, said the Miis weren't a good fit for Smash. And again, Smash 4, the Miis were like the first thing shown off, like right off the bat. And now Miis are part of like Nintendo history. I mean, even the Switch still has Miis on it. It still has the Mii functionality. So, I mean, just like some people are like, oh, Wii Fit trainer, that's so stupid. And it's like, no, but Wii Fit is a part of Nintendo's history, just like Rob is, just like Mr. Game & Watch. Mr. Game & Watch and Rob aren't really Nintendo games. They're like Nintendo accessories. And Wii Fit actually is a game character, but it's from, a game that uses the accessory, just like Duck Hunt Dog. All those things are a big, important part of Nintendo history that represents something about Nintendo. So to me, they should always be in. Like, Wii Fit needs to be in every Smash, in my opinion. I don't want to ever see her get cut. She should never. She's a unique, fun character. She should just never be cut, unless I don't even know. And yeah, I could see them doing Ring Fit, but I think Ring Fit wouldn't be the best DLC choice. I think that'd be better for like a new game, because with Smash, when they do like a new base game, that's when the characters are just like these choices you probably would have never expected, and that's when that's when the game becomes cool. I don't think we should have DLC slots taken up by like characters like Ring Fit. Even Min Min is kind of a stretch here. And yeah, I know I went on a tangent there, but I just want you guys to hear me out. There's really no character that is like their own moldable avatar character outside of Villager. I didn't think Monster Hunter would be the first one, but I was like, you know what? Maybe it'll be Monster Hunter, because there were some things adding up for it. Nintendo completely shot that theory down right after Sephiroth got put in, which made people think maybe characters who are already in do have a chance. And no. So, yeah, I thought after Pyramithra, I thought Monster Hunter did have a high chance, but nope, not going to happen. Though some people have talked about Rayman, and I think that Rayman would be a really good fit. And I think that the thing about Rayman, I think a lot of people have counted him out by now. And it might be another character that would come out of nowhere. That I think at this point, there's certain characters that Rayman is in the same tier when it comes to game history. Like, again, if Terry can be in the game, then I think there's no reason why Rayman can't. Same with Mithra and Pyra. Like, if they can be in, like, Xenoblade isn't really that. Like, Xenoblade is Nintendo first party. But what I'm saying is that, like, if these characters can get in, there's no reason why Rayman can't. Though I would love to see Crash over Rayman if I had to pick my choice. I do think Crash would be a more interesting character than Rayman. I think that a lot of these 2D and 3D platformer characters, I think probably aren't going to have the most compelling moveset. With Crash, there's some things you can do based off of all the different games he's been in. But, with Rayman, I think it's like even sillier to have him in. I just don't know why people even want Rayman, to be honest. I love me some Rayman Origins, but just because I love a game doesn't mean I want that character in Smash. To me, Smash is like the coolest game characters fighting each other. Like, I wasn't even the biggest Zelda fan when I first played Smash, but I always played Link just because I had Link to the Past as a kid. And even though I didn't even play Ocarina of Time yet, I just really loved Link at the time. And I was like, he's not even it's not even from my favorite game. Like, Link to the Past is my favorite game, and just like with Final Fantasy, 7 is not my favorite Final Fantasy, but Cloud is such a cool and fantastic, iconic character. It doesn't matter if Final Fantasy 7 is my favorite or not. I'm fine with having Cloud. If you had to ask me, what character do you want from Final Fantasy, I would have said Cloud anyway, because I'm like, well, he's the one who makes the most sense to be in Smash. And some people will be like, yeah, but isn't your favorite like 6 or something? Or maybe do you like 5, 4? Hell, man, do you like 10? Do you like, And I'm like, yeah, I like all those games. And 7, don't get me wrong, 7's probably my second favorite. I think I like 6 a little bit more. But I would still say Cloud is a better fit. I'm not going to like go, no, it has to be my favorite character. I just think it's silly. So to me, the idea of people like, oh, it has to be Rayman because I love Rayman. I'm like, well, yeah, but is Rayman even that great of a character on his own? Like, or you just want him because you like the game? And I don't know. I mean, I wanted a Resident Evil character because I just like Resident Evil, but I also, personally think Leon is one of the coolest video game characters ever. I think a lot of people recognize Leon and think Leon's cool. So to me, and also same with Jill. I think Jill is probably even better than Leon. I fucking love Resident Evil at 1 and 3 because Jill's in it, and I even really enjoyed the Resident Evil 3 remake, and I was like, damn, I'm so happy playing as Jill. Oh, yeah, and she was in 5, too. Like, man, Jill's in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and in 3 as a DLC character, even though she plays completely differently in 3. Yeah, I mean, I would love Jill or Leon. I mean, to me, those are iconic video game characters that deserve to be in Smash. Whereas Rayman, you know. So I know a lot of people say that, and I was dogging on Crash a lot too. Why do I think Crash deserves to be in now and not season one? Well, because there's a lot of characters have been put in the game, and it might be Crash's time now. It's because I'm running out of ideas for fucking characters. That's why I think Crash should be in now. So I think there's an opportunity for Crash to get in, but I don't think Doomslayer's getting in. But and Ryu Hayabusa could get in, but he might be one of those characters that's so predictable it might not even happen. I feel like, part of me is like, how Ryu doesn't have a assist trophy or a single spirit at all is mind-boggling. I feel like there's no way they wouldn't have put an assist trophy in for Hayabusa yet. Like that is just blowing my mind. Like I'm literally floored at the idea that they would make this full fighter pass without including Ryu Hayabusa, without doing a single spirit. Like that just blows my freaking mind. But hey, they might not do spirits for every single game. It seems like a lot of stuff they did, a lot of the bonus content in this game were things from Capcom games and Square Enix games of all things. But I would love, I would love to see like Yakuza spirits, especially right now I'm playing Yakuza Like a Dragon, and it makes me want Kiryu really badly. So the idea of them putting in a Phantasy Star character over Kiryu, like Kiryu is a fucking character, you know what I'm saying? I always wondered why he wasn't in Virtual Fighter, but obviously Sega's making a new Virtual Fighter game now, and some people are thinking it's going to be like a re-version, like a new version of 5, though at that point, 5 doesn't even have the best graphics anymore. Like they really just need to make a new game from the ground up, and just, even if it has all the same characters from 5, like, I mean, Dead or Alive 6 compared to Dead or Alive 5 isn't even that different, you know what I'm saying? The only difference is there's Virtual Fighter characters in Dead or Alive 5, and they're not in Dead or Alive 6. And also, like, you have to rebuy all the same DLC characters. It's kind of stupid. Dead or Alive 6 is kind of a huge disappointment of a game, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, I would love a new Virtual Fighter game. I would love to see, like, Kiryu in it, because to me it's a perfect fit. But apparently the creator of Yakuza doesn't want Kiryu appearing in different games. I think it's... I understand not wanting to put him in everything, because he is kind of a sacred character, but Smash could be an exception that would make a ton of sense. And yeah, I mean, I think Kiryu is badass, and I think, he might be a little weird to be in Smash. It might not be the best fit, but all the people who want characters like Frank West and Phoenix Wright, who are like realistic characters, you should probably be pulling for Kiryu, who probably has a better chance, who's also a very realistic character, but at least has, actual attacks and gamey-like functions and stuff like that. And also Yakuza is just like this fucking badass game, and Kiryu's this badass character who totally deserves it. Honestly, I'd rather be in Virtual Fighter than be in Smash, but I mean, get this guy in the game, man. So, to me, the only, like, Sora's not happening, so to me, there's not going to be any huge surprise no matter what. But, there's a difference between subverting expectations and doing something nobody saw coming, which I don't think Sakurai is that obsessed with, because some of these characters are kind of predictable. I mean, Steve, a lot of people were predicting him until Banjo came out, and then I think people kind of were like, oh, I guess it can't happen now. And then it did happen later. Steve was never off the table, and a lot of people were predicting he would be put in. There's a lot of naysayers, and I was one of them. But really, once Banjo was put in, once he announced the second fighter pass, in my opinion, Steve was back on the table, and I just didn't think about it yet. If more time had passed, I probably would have thought about it and been like, you know what, Steve has a chance now. I think I just wanted to like piss off the naysayers because I was such a Banjo supporter, and I was being biased, honestly. But Sephiroth was a character. Famously, a lot of people on my YouTube channel have commented and liked the old video of me predicting Sephiroth in the game. It's one of the only cool things I've ever really done, because I didn't really get the credibility I deserved when I said Joker was coming to Smash, because I called it like a day or two. I called it right before it happened, so it wasn't even like I achieved anything that cool. Whereas with Sephiroth, I called it years in advance, and people who commented back then came back and commented on it. It's one of the coolest. It's not like it like shot me up in ratings or anything, but to me, it's probably my proudest achievement, because I predicted something correctly and I got recognition for it. But then when it comes to a lot of the other characters like Pyra Mythra, again, Pyra was never off the table. And one of the things that a lot of people talk about like including like Alpha Rad, was they wanted Pyra and Mithra in the game without Rex. I talked about that too, and then when I played Xenoblade 2, I was convinced that they had to put both Rex and Pyra in together, and then I just kind of counted them out because of the Spirit thing. But right when Fighter Pass 2 was announced, I said Rex and Pyra have a chance again. I never counted them on the no chance list. I always said they had a chance. So the thing is that, like, even if Rex Pyra wasn't my most predicted character, some of these characters are predictable, and that's fine. You know, like Byleth was never not predictable at all. I said Byleth was probably going to be put in, but I just thought it'd be season 2 and not season 1. Terry was not predictable at all. Don't get me wrong. Some people put him on like their tier list things, but like I don't think anyone took it seriously that Terry was going to actually get put in. But again, Sakura only did that for like one character of that 4 fighter pass. A lot of people were predicting Dragon Quest. Oh, and that was before the Brave leak, okay? People were predicting Dragon Quest like before Joker was even announced, okay? People were saying Slime was going to get it. So many people were saying Dragon Quest, Dragon Quest, Dragon Quest. Banjo was predicted the fuck out of. Everyone was saying if they're going to do a Microsoft character, it's going to be Banjo. A lot of us were saying Banjo will be revealed at E3. A lot of people called it. A lot of people thought Banjo was getting in. So what of the Fire Pass 1 and 2, out of all those characters, which ones were not predictable at all? I mean, again, honestly, the funny thing is, I would say Sephiroth is the least predictable, but that was the one I caught right. That was the one I said was going to happen on YouTube a long time ago. I never said 100%, but I said, you know, there is a possibility, and there's a breadcrumb trail that would literally make Sephiroth work. I said that a long time ago, that Sephiroth always had a chance. And that's the thing. It's like, and I forgot that was even a possibility. By the time he came out, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they're actually doing Sephiroth. But it was always a chance. What character besides Terry was so out of left field that was 100% completely unpredictable? Even Simon Belmont, we were all saying was going to happen. Nobody was shocked by Simon Belmont. We all said it was going to happen. We were shocked by Richter. We were shocked by Richter Belmont. No one thought Simon was going to have an Echo Fighter. But, I mean, if you're going to make an Echo Fighter, a Belmont is a good character to make a fucking Echo Fighter out of, for crying out loud. But nobody thought they were going to do an Echo Fighter. But that's the thing. What character was out of left field? Not Incineroar, not Kin. I was a naysayer of Kin. But once I saw how they did him, I was like, okay, he's basically not an Echo Fighter at all, but whatever, I don't care. Kin's in the game, and he's awesome. He's one of my favorite characters to play. Incineroar is one of my favorite characters to play, and I didn't want a Pokemon character, but I knew it would probably be Incineroar if they did. I mean, a lot of people were saying it was going to be Incineroar. There was the argument between Incineroar and Decidueye, and once I was like, you know, Pokemon Trainer is in the game now, not Charizard. So it's not like they have the fire-water dynamic and need a grass starter, because Pokemon Trainer Charizard is not like a fire starter, because like now there is a grass and water starter besides Charizard, you know? It's not like they have that dynamic anymore where they just need the grass starter. Like Smash 4, they had the dynamic where there was a water starter and a fire starter and no grass starter. Now we have Pokemon Trainer. So now we have a water starter, fire starter, and Pokemon Trainer, which are 3 starters in one. So we might get a grass starter. But I would love it if they just didn't do a starter for once. I would love a different kind of Pokemon. Also, the grass starter character doesn't look that interesting. He's like a big ape character, just like Donkey Kong. So to me, I don't think he's that interesting. Decidueye might be a little bit more interesting, again. But it'd be crazy if they put in 2 starters from Sun and Moon. But yeah, I mean, a lot of us were calling a lot of these characters before they were put in. So none of the characters were unpredictable out of left field. So the idea that the last 2 characters have to completely subvert expectations, the reason why they're not going to subvert our expectations, the reason why they're so predictable, is because we've predicted literally every fucking character coming to this game. Even if they did Master Chief, which I don't think will happen at all, because I think Steve and Banjo are already enough. Even if they did that, a lot of us predicted this. Even if they decided to do Sora, which they won't, again, because Sephiroth was put in, a lot of us predicted this. So, I mean, there's nothing that's unpredictable, you know? There's nothing that's unpredictable. It's all a matter of, are they mad enough to actually do it, you know? Are they actually mad enough to put in the Doomslayer? They're probably not going to, because I feel like, again, if they were going to do him, I would think they would have put the Fallout character with him. But sometimes they make these weird choices and don't do the thing you think they're going to do. So maybe not. I don't know. But I think Capcom's completely off the menu because of all those Mii fighters. But again, I mean, maybe not. I don't know. Like, sometimes the Mii fighters don't even make sense, you know. But for the most part, they have. For the most part, they've made sense. But they've never done a Mii fighter for a game that was later came out later. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Maybe. And the Sega ones, besides the Persona characters, were all, like, returning characters. And a lot of the Namco ones have all been returning characters as well. So, I don't know. I don't know who the last characters will be, but I do know that if they're both predictable, it doesn't matter. It's because we've predicted everything. You know, the only character that was really unpredictable was Sephiroth, and even I said a long time ago there's a chance Sephiroth could get put in this game. You know, it deconfirmed Geno, but I would rather have Sephiroth than Geno. I've said this many times. You know, if Sephiroth is on the menu, then I'm going to choose Sephiroth. You know, I would even choose him over Sora. I don't think Sora would be as interesting as Sephiroth to play, and I think Sephiroth is a cooler character. I'm sorry, I think Final Fantasy VII is better than Kingdom Hearts. Don't get me wrong. I love Kingdom Hearts too, but don't get me wrong, okay? I still would love Sora. I think Sora vs. Cloud was already badass, and I think that Sora vs. Cloud and Sora vs. Sephiroth is perfect. So I'd still love them. But the final two characters, I do think one will be super hype, and one might be a little bit more lackluster. I think that they might announce the last two characters both at E3, and if they're going to do anything else for Smash, it's either going to be... if they ever say there's going to be one more character, or one new thing, like new stage, for example, or anything like that for Smash, it'll probably be announced when they show the last character. And they could, at E3, show the last two characters and show off like a brand new stage, or like the return of another like stage that we haven't gotten in the game yet, like Rainbow Road from 3DS, or Poke Floats, or, you know, there's a few stages we still don't have from the original games, but so far the only new stage they added in that didn't go with a character was Small Battlefield. But I mean, there's a chance they might show a new stage, or if they say there's another character, they probably won't show that third character, but they could say, hey, there is a third character coming on the way, because that would generate a lot of hype for E3. So there's a chance that we'll get the last two characters at E3. There's a chance that we'll get, but we are for sure getting character E3, and I can tell you all why now. It's because it's a lot of us are talking about who the next character is going to be right now, and that's because Pyra and Mytha were announced at the very end of February, and they came out the very beginning of March. So now we're midway through April, and May might be a good time to reveal a character, but the thing is that the character is going to come out in June because Sephiroth came out in December, and Pyra came out in March. So it's like the first month of each season. For example, I know October isn't the first month of fall, but again, like, a character came out in the fall and a character came out in the summer. So it's like every month a character, or every season a character comes out. So what would make the most sense is for the next character to be announced at E3, because it's probably going to come out in June anyway. If not coming out in June, it come out in July. But because Hero came out in July, I'm going to go ahead and say that I think this character would come out in June. Though, if I'm correct, I think Min Min came out in June, so maybe they'll go back to July now. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's most likely going to be a character revealed at E3, and possibly both characters revealed at E3, just like they did that one time. And if they do that, that's a good opportunity to show the less hype character alongside the really hype character. In my opinion, Crash Bandicoot would be hype enough to make everyone lose their fucking shit. I think if Crash was announced, that would be their trump card, super duper hype character that would close off the fighter pass. Even if he's not the sixth character, if he's the fifth and Ryu's the sixth, that's fine too. In fact, I would love a double trailer that shows both Ryu and Crash in the same trailer. That'd be fucking cool. But yeah, I mean, to me, my two top picks right now are Ryu and Crash. There's always a chance there's going to be a new Pokemon character. But I don't think that both of the last two characters are going to have swords. I think that Sakurai knows that people don't want all sword fighters, and I mean, even he thinks, like, I mean, look, Fighter Pass 2 had Hero and it had Byleth, but also Joker kind of counts as a sword character too because he has a knife. And this Fighter Pass has Sephiroth and Pyramithra, and Steve really counts too. Now Steve has very stubby arms, but so like it's not really like it's not really like he's not a sword fighter in the same sense that like Marth and Cloud are, but he does fight with a disjoint, So he just like how Hero fights with a not Hero, just like how Joker fights with a disjoint, he counts too. So it's the same situation where, there's two sword fighters and one guy who basically counts the sword fighter anyway. I think most people agree that even though Steve doesn't fight like a sword fighter, he still technically fights with a sword. And he fights with a pickaxe as well, and an axe, and I think a shovel. And I don't know if he hits anyone with the shovel. I don't remember. Anyway, and yeah. So when it comes to like this pass, yeah, I could see them doing one more sword fighter, but I don't think the last two are both going to be sword fighters. I don't think it's going to be 5 sword fighters in one fucking pass. I don't think that's what they're going to do. So it would make sense for them to put in a character like Crash or a character like Pokemon, basically. I think one of these two are going to be Crash or a Pokemon. And I think even if they put in Hayabusa, I don't think he's going to fight like a traditional sword fighter anyway. They're not going to do Phantasy Star characters. It's just completely ludicrous. There's the evidence that this guy predicted it right is not enough evidence. Like the evidence that he was right about the February Direct, to me, doesn't mean shit for anything future. I think he's just trying to get a last bit of clout that he can get here. I don't think it's real at all. Honestly, it's such a silly claim. And a lot of the claims he's making, Mario Kart 9, a new Metroid game that's like 2D style, those are like claims that everyone makes all the time. They're very safe claims that you could say, oh yeah, I bet you that is going to happen at E3. Wait till it's closer to E3. That's when any real credible E3 leaks will probably happen. I don't think there's anyone who could possibly know what Nintendo's going to reveal at E3. Now, what they might know is like one game that someone's working on or something. But the idea that they know like everything Nintendo's working on, like, dude, I fucking doubt it. Fucking doubt it. So yeah, I think the reality is that a lot of games get shown at these things that don't get leaked until like the day before. So that's really when you should be looking for leaks, is like the week before E3. I think like a week or 2 weeks before E3 is when people started saying Banjo and Hero were going to be revealed at E3, and then they were. But again, Banjo and Hero were the two safest picks. They were the two most likely characters coming to Smash, and they were both revealed right there at E3, the two most likely predicted characters. So no one even guessed Terry and Byleth. So anyway, that's the end of this video. It's not going to be Phantasy Star Guy, but I mean, I think everyone's okay with that. Anyway, sorry for lots of rambling here, but I haven't uploaded in a while, so I figured some people might want to hear some of my updated thoughts. I'm going to end this video here, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.